Good morning, everyone. My name is Philip. I'm here with Hotel Champ. I'm the Director of Business Development. And first and foremost, obviously, thank you all for joining this live stream session today. And so just going to take some time that we've been given today around talking to you a little bit around behavior myths that are stopping guests from booking. This ultimately, what I want to do today is to share some experience we have with our customers around some solutions of the myths and the challenges that they've had with their direct website, and share some ideas, really scratching the surface of some of the solutions that we've put in place to help them fix that. So starting off with a statement in the sense of everything is fun and exciting until it actually gets down to making a booking, right? At least I'm certainly true in saying that statement. I hope you guys are as well, especially now after the pandemic, when there's so much motivation to actually go out there and travel once again, and you feel as though the world is so much smaller, so you want to go to all those places that were always on your bucket list. Now is the time. And with all of this choice and excitement, it actually becomes quite difficult for someone to actually make a decision and book. So it's extremely important for a hotel to understand how their guests shop and make it really easy on them, and make it easy on them to book directly on their website. So the myth number one, making a booking or booking a hotel is easy. Ultimately, the reality is it's not. There is a lot of competition out there, and I really say a lot of it. Whether that competition is based on price, location, quality, space, customers are swamped for choice, and you really need to put your best foot forward when presenting your proposition, your hotel online. Emotion is something as well. There is that inner voice that we all have as human beings, that if it just doesn't feel right, then most likely it's not going to be right for you. And so unless your website really speaks the same language as your guest, it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to make a direct choice there and then if it does not. So there's a lot of solutions out there to really make sure that the emotion, you're really connecting to the human emotion of your target audience. And this goes in line with brand tone of voice. There is, as I mentioned above, there's a lot of competitions out there, and we as human beings do make emotional connections with images, for example, on the hotel website. And so tone of voice and the wording that you guys use on your website can be extremely important to ensure that they do make a direct booking. Now, one solution of booking a hotel and making it easy is really around comparison. And there's many different ways in which we compare. But what I'm really buzzed about today is to introduce to you one of our newest products in the Hotel Champ toolkit, which is RateBeat. I'm buzzed about this because it really takes the traditional price comparison widget, which I'm sure you all know and love, but it really takes it to the next level. What it's actually doing is combining the price comparison there and then, so scraping the OTAs, your chosen OTAs that you compare against. And if it is detecting a lower rate on those OTAs, it will automatically add a promo code to make sure that your direct rate is the very best and visually best rate. What's important about this, and I think the beauty of this most of all, is you as the hotel have control. Ultimately, this is set up in the back end of the Hotel Champ platform system. You can add as many different rate codes as you wish. So this could be anything from a 1% discount all the way through to like a 10% discount. This is really everything that you can that you could wish for with a price comparison widget. But again, just talking a little bit more around the functionality, but the beauty of RateBeat, I really want you guys to understand this, is at the end of the day, of course, direct is always best, and RateBeat will automatically do that for you. Again, it will manage your discounts. So this is really a fail-safe in the sense of making sure whether you have a look no further campaign, direct is always best. RateBeat will do that for you. And again, with a one-click application, this is going to make sure that it is incredibly easy for the guest to just literally click on that apply button, and the page will refresh and take them through to the booking engine to make sure that they can complete that purchase. So that is introducing RateBeat. As I mentioned, this is just one area of comparison. There's a lot of different types of comparison we can do, obviously with things like social proof and review, but this is really one of our latest additions to the toolkit. And again, this is something that can really, really make a huge difference, and it can be tracked. This isn't something you have to take our word for. This is something that can be tracked so that we can really monitor the effectivity of this particular tool. Secondly, myth number 2, planning a holiday is straightforward. Now, I know for me, I'm hoping for you guys as well, it really is not. It really goes back to endless options. There's a huge amount of options out there for any types of travelers. There's obviously there's destinations, but you also have that feeling of no matter how attractive a hotel offer may seem, there's always other options out there, and the customer's always thinking about that. So that idea of FOMO is real is again something to really be conscious of. We all want the best possible deal as human beings, and if we see something offered for free somewhere elsewhere with a competitor, another hotel, that can be hard to turn down, and you don't want to miss out on that. Likewise with reviews, if you're reading reviews of a particular property and it's a like-minded guest as you, let's say a family, there's definitely a fear that you're missing out if they're talking very highly of the kids club, for example. And then the other thing is, at the end of the day, hotels really only in this day and age get one shot to make the decision easy for a website visitor. Now, this is especially the case, for example, if it's a first-time visitor to the website. So one solution here is really to avoid the abundance of pop-ups and really kind of making the website too busy. What you can do is use tools such as our inline messaging or embedded content to trigger first-time visitors, but in a subtle, engaging way. Here you can see this example through an inline message is really displaying, for example, just a free cocktail voucher, something so minimal for cost of sale, but can be obviously engaging. Furthermore, it's also capturing email addresses. So collecting these email addresses, using vouchers and email retargeting to get it to engage with with potentially first time, but also returning visitors, but engaging them to return through other ways, such as maybe a capture tool. Myth number 3. This is one that really hits home to me because it's still something that I come across in conversation every single day, is that the belief that all website visitors want the same thing. I particularly have a fire underneath me here in saying this one, because we all know this is not the case. I think the word personalization has been floating around our industry now for a number of years. It could be 10 plus years. And one size fits all just simply does not work. It's really not the solution. We all don't go for the same thing. Just last week, again, little snippets of life kind of make me realize this. You walk to a coffee shop with your colleagues, and you ultimately see that the 5 of you are all ordering a very different type of or cup of coffee. This is exactly the same type of thinking to your website visitors. They're all different. Also static, this relates to content and assuming. It's really the idea that not everyone is going to be triggered by the same, grand message which you believe is on your landing page of the website. You know, there's a lot of different ways to make sure that you avoid assumptions and really serve the right message to the right audience. You know, again, this goes back to understanding your guests. Is it a corporate traveler? You know, are you serving the right message to them against a family or a single or a couple? So avoid this static and content, the static content, and really, like in everything in life, don't assume anything. And then, of course, you know, going back to all website visitors want the same thing. If there's a lack of a story, and at the end of the day, if your website is easy to leave, you know, I've put here, if your website sucks, you know, that this is going to be detrimental. If it's boring and non-engaging, look, guys, at the end of the day, that equals drop off. It's really as simple as that. And it goes back to a little bit what I mentioned earlier. There's just simply so much choice, too much choice out there for potential guests to waste their time on your site, especially if they're not being triggered by anything at all, whether that is a value add, a direct booking benefit, or personalization. And so, you know, one solution here can really be based around personalized content. You know, it goes back to what I was saying. We all know personalization is required. It's key. I think every hotel stands up in the morning with their teams. They talk about the guests who are arriving, or if there's special occasions, and they verbalize, how can we personalize that? You know, how are we going to make that memorable? How is it going to be an experience? We want to live in a world where that type of conversation is also happening on your website, online. And so make it personable. You know, this example is really just displaying the technology that we have, detecting that someone is selecting a weekend stay. It's for 2 guests, and through, again, an inline message, just dropping down underneath that selection, a date night package. You know, this, of course, would not be displayed for someone selecting, let's say, 2 adults, 3 children, or potentially someone selecting a Tuesday, Wednesday night. But it's this idea of offering personalized content, which we all talk about, but again, frustratingly enough, not a lot of hotels are doing yet. Is something that that will break the myth of making it difficult to book on your website. You know, myth number 4: people read hotel websites. Again, this is something that I'm sure all of us can relate to. I know for me, like, it's like with any website, it doesn't have to be a hotel website. It can be anything from, you know, insurance to obviously airlines, anything at all. But at the end of the day, the modern day consumer, time is precious. You know, our studies and our data has shown that you really, on average, have about 15 seconds to keep a traveler's attention when they click onto your website. It's not a lot, guys. It's really not a lot. And in those 15 seconds, you have to be able to present the right message to your prospective customer and really kind of trigger them to book. So it's a short amount of time. Our data is also showing that less than 20% of text content is actually read on the website. So if you guys are kind of working with a landing page and there's a whole paragraph of text, you know, 500, 600, 700 words, you know, we may want to look to rethink that. Because ultimately, again, it goes back to that last point. What you personally think is covered on your website may not be covered in the eyes of the actual website user. You know, you may, I could ask you today, but guys, are you clearly identifying your location? And obviously, through pure familiarity of your website and location, you say, yeah, of course, we're definitely doing that. But it's an interesting experiment to maybe ask, let's say, 20 to 30 people, how easily did you find my location on the website? And, you know, you could be surprised with the findings. This is something we do a lot of at Hotel Champ. We like to, at the beginning of any type of partnership, kind of what we call an as-is scenario, but in essence, it's a critique of the current website. And it's these small things, you know, I'm not a big fan of the term low-hanging fruit, but it's these small things which again, you through time think it's covered, but it's not. And so we want to make sure that we are getting and pulling that right information to the front of the site or to the website visitor to make sure that they are actually reading that valuable content, because it is valuable content. It's what's making you stick out from the competition, from the crowd. And so by using things like smart notifications, this example is in the booking engine. So a lot of information is in the website, but when someone flows through to the booking engine, which is already a win, and so you don't want to lose that opportunity, you can start to again bring that type of information, which is valuable, which is a USP to them during the booking process in the booking engine. Importantly, this again can be reacting to the choices and selections they're making. So whether it's if they're through their dates, there's a citywide event, or there's a seasonal event, maybe worthwhile in mentioning that. Add some urgency, some scarcity to that booking experience. But also, through reviews, someone selecting two adults, we can pull obviously that type of content around couples rate our property 5 out of 5 because of this. It's those types of things which or those types of information you really want to make sure you're getting across. Important snippets of information, USPs in the booking engine that maybe the visitors missed in the website, and don't bury that. That is why people don't read websites. It's what makes you unique you want to get across, and whether that's through video, through quotes, through color on your website and booking experience, storytelling. This is exactly the type of thing we would love to see much more of in the industry. In essence, guys, this is kind of 4 myths, and I know I've scratched the surface with this. I mean, by all means, I mean, there's a huge amount more. But really, by understanding how your guests can plan and understand how your guests do plan their holidays and what they're looking for, that can really get you set for ensuring that your website is meeting their needs, their expectations, and at the end of the day, converting to exactly the type of conversion rate that you're wishing to achieve. I was super buzzed to introduce RateBeat to you. As I say, this is something hot off the press at Hotel Champ. Okay, well, look, guys, I really hope you enjoyed logging into this live streaming session. I hope you got some key takeaways, especially with RateBeat. If there's anything at all that I can help with on an individual basis, again, my name is Philip at Hotel Champ. But thank you all, and I wish you all a very good day.